Promised earlier, we are going to look at how mountains form, but like I said, we needed our graham crackers and our Cool Whip, which we have here. These graham crackers here are going to represent the tectonic plates or the crust of the earth. Now this Cool Whip will represent the mantle or the lava of earth. I'm going to put some red food coloring in it. Okay, just to kind of give us a visual. Of what that hot mantle looks like. This is inside of the earth. So we are using our imaginations and imagining this is the mantle inside of the earth. But really, this is just Cool Whip or whipped cream. Okay, there we go. So the mantle can flow like liquid if it's hot enough and has enough pressure. We need to think about how that affects the Earth's crust and those tectonic plates like we've been learning about today and yesterday. So the first kind of plate tectonic we have is called a transform boundary. A transform is where two of the plates push up against each other. So remember we talked about earthquakes earlier. We saw that in the video. When they push up against each other, they grind like this and move past each other. Now sometimes it causes enough pressure to cause an earthquake. We learned about earthquakes earlier and what they do to the earth. So this is what it looks like. Okay, and this is called a transform boundary. Okay. Now we also have a divergent boundary. That's where they move away from each other. Okay, so we have our two plates here. This is the crust of the earth and the mantle inside of the earth, that hot mantle. And they move away from each other. This is what it looks like. This is the earth, remember? Outside of earth, the crust sliding away from each other. Now this is really cool. Let me get some water actually. Okay, so what I'll do is take my crust, I'm going to dip it in this water here and hold it for a minute. We're going to make a divergent boundary. So what do you guys think is going to happen now that I have two soggy ends here? A divergent boundary is where the plates move towards each other. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, we're making a convergent boundary. Divergent is where they pull away. Convergent is where they move towards each other. See what's happening? It's forming upwards. And this, boys and girls, is how mountains form. This is one way that mountains can form. So this is called a convergent boundary. Divergent is where they pull apart. Transform is where they slide and they grind past each other. And then convergent is where they push together, forming mountains.